Good morning, my construction entrepreneurs. This is Tyrone Jones with the Construction Entrepreneur School and Services. Hey, I'm touching bases with you guys, and I'm touching bases on, I just got something in there. All right, I'm touching bases on renting a license. Basically, having an RMO supply your corporation with a license so you're able to do contract work, right? That's what I'm actually touching bases on, because I'm getting a lot of calls about this. And 90% of the calls, none of the individuals are ready or are ready to move forward, or even have things in place to move forward. So let's talk a little bit about what it is and what you need. Okay, so renting a license affords you the ability to, one, get a license quicker than you normally would without having to go through everything else to get your license, right? And so it passes up a few steps. You don't have to take a test and things like that. Also, it affords you the ability to have multiple classifications right away, versus you going the traditional way, right? The conventional way is signing up for a school. So you cut out that cost. That cost can be anywhere from $800 to $1,600, depending on what school you go to and what you sign up for on the study side. It can cost you anywhere from $800 to $1,600. So you're Xing out that cost, right? And then you're Xing out the time that it takes to study, and kind of prepare for this exam. And then you're also Xing out the cost to the state, which is, which is I think it can cost you around from $900 to $1,100. Okay, so you're Xing out that cost as well. But now, you're not Xing out all the costs to the state, okay? You're just Xing out a little bit of cost to the state in this, okay? You still have to pay for the original contractor's fee. You still have to pay for your bonding. There's a lot of things you still have to pay for, and you have to realize that, okay? You cannot get out of that portion of it, all right? So it affords you to get things a lot quicker, a lot sooner, and kind of get on the ball right away. But one thing you have to do to prepare for this, you have to have a corporation set up. And the reason why you have to have a corporation set up is because the board requires that second license of that RMO. Remember, I've done the video on this, so watch the video. Remember, if you have a contractor's license, you have 4 license spots, right? One is your main one, right? And then you have 3 additional license spots. Well, the board recommends that this first one, it can be a sole prop, it can be a corporation, it can be an LLC, it can be an S Corp, C Corp, it doesn't matter, right? But these additional 3 have to be corporations. They must be corporations. So that's why if you want to rent someone's other 3 spots, you have to set up a corporation first. Okay. Now, a lot of people's like, oh, I'll set up an LLC. You got to be careful. Look at what the requirements for if you set up an LLC. Now, I've done the LLC video, so I'm not going to touch on that. Okay. So once you set up the corporation, then you are more, it puts you more in a position to be ready to do this. Now, the next thing that people need to prepare for is the fee. The monthly fee. And a lot of people think like, oh, this is absurd, man, but this fee is what you are paying for to be able to do contract work. So if you are planning on staying mom and pop status, then you need to not go this route. So the fee every month that I charge, I'm not showing what other RMO agencies charge, but I charge, there's a fee of $1,200. that you pay to the RMO, okay? Some places will pay even more. Now, some people ask like, okay, so some people say, hey, you know what, $1,200 is nothing. I'll be able to contract. I can actually do more work. I can pay that out, no problem. Some people say, hey, you know what, that's expensive. Mainly because either they don't want to get that type of work, or they're not even charging correctly to be able to afford that type of service. Either way, people have their own opinion. But the $1,200 sometimes depend on what type of work you're doing and the sales volume bringing in. That $1,200 can actually go up because of the amount of work involved on our part to, you know, keep the RMO out of trouble with the board, you know, because there's a constant flow of information that we require from the renter to be able to protect the RMO. Now you got to understand this, okay? There's RMOs out there that's like, you know what? I'm not renting out my license. I got this, I got that, you know, I'm doing this. Well, I want you to look at this. Renting out your license is almost like another investment, okay? If you want to be a serial entrepreneur, then that's one of the ways you can actually produce some income, okay? Renting out these other 3 spots, if you're not using them, then they're just not using them. Now, is there risk involved? Yes, there is. There's risk involved in every type of investment that you do. And there's, you know, low, medium, and high risk, okay? So where does the risk factor land? It all depends on who we bring on to one of those 3 openings, okay? I don't know where the risk is going to be at. I don't know the level of risk. That person that come on might be a small-time guy, okay? Maybe one of those people might do commercial work. As we know, residential versus commercial work is a lot more risk because you're dealing with more residential and homeowners. And when you deal with more residential and homeowners, you're more susceptible to complaints. Okay, especially if you're doing a high volume to residential. Okay, commercial, you don't get hardly any complaints from commercial side of things, okay? They have a little bit more protections in place, like 30-day net. They don't have to pay you on time. There's no down payment. So there's a lot of risk involved for the person that's hiring you versus doing residential projects. But you open up those 3 little things there, those 3 slots, and you're creating more income and revenue for yourself, and then you be selective on who you. So you can do it or not. Either way it go, if you're investing in something, you're at risk always. So for the people that has a license that's not using these spots, just think about that. You know, you can choose who you bring on, okay? And then we got parameters, we got things in place to protect you. That's why, you know, on a weekly basis we get reports. On a weekly basis we monitor what's going on to prevent those high risk situations or issues from happening, okay? So paying that fee of $1,200, you know, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So, so the people that are calling like, hey man, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about renting someone's license. Initially, that's what you have to do, okay? So also remember, once you get things set up, you will be required to get the insurance, okay? Depending on what type of work you're doing, okay? Workers' comp, if you got employees, no workers' comp if it's just you doing the work yourself, you know? But, you know, we know that it's not that, so, you know, probably workers' comp. Depending on what other kind of work you're doing, if you're in the commercial sector, then we're probably going to be, you're already going to be demand to get auto and general liability. Mando, okay? Outside of commercial work, residential, we require you to get general liability, so that's going to also add some fees to that. And I got some videos that tells you the amount of the cost of those different types of insurances. So you got to check that out. You know, it is an option. but don't think that it's you're going to get over on a whole lot of costs. You will be saving on a lot of the front end costs of things, but once it comes to the board, they're going to capture a lot of costs from you to make this thing happen. So it is a good thing on the RMO side, and it's a good thing for the person that's reading the license as well. You just got to decide what route you want to take. Okay, that's all I have. If you've got questions about this, I'm trying to do a sit down kind of PowerPoint video on this, and explain a little bit more and throw out some more fees and numbers so everybody can kind of get a grasp around this, and maybe prepare people a little bit more for approaching something like this. I'm gonna let you go, my construction entrepreneurs. Remember, hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one. Thanks.